Hello. Hi, world. Here I am one more time. Dr. Helen, CEO, that's Chief Engagement Officer of Dr. Helen Holton and Associates, and your host for Dr. Helen Speaks, Strengths, Resilience, and Leadership. Welcome to today's show. As I was planning for today's show, I'm always looking for words of others, quotes, things that tie right into what we're talking about today. And I found a quote that just really, man, it just hit it head on in ways that I didn't even recognize initially. I adore this quote for the depth that it brings. And, I like to go deep. So this quote today is by Grace Gegenheimer. To be a woman is to harness the power of the earth below you, the ground you stand on. That's not her. The sky above you, and the fire within you. Oh my goodness, when I saw that, it just took me back. I always look for those connections, those signs to say, yeah, this is what you need to talk about. You're spot on. And clearly, there was no mistake with that quote today. So there's so much to unpack here, and I'm excited to dive deeper with our guest today, Catherine Dixon Keir, founder of Transformative Learning Solutions. Now, I'll tell you more about Coach Kathy D shortly. But let's go over, we always got some preliminaries for our first time listeners. And, it's as I'm learning, I'm sharing with you in full transparency. Can I just tell you, you just never know where you're going. But as a strength, resilience, and leadership coach, the greatest thing we do is stand in the gap for leaders, especially women leaders like you who want more for your life and your leadership and legacy. I'm going to throw that in because I know some of our audience today, they're thinking about, I've been in this game a long time. I'm going to wind it down, but don't wind it down without really being clear on what are you leaving behind as a leader. Our number one goal is to motivate, inspire, and change lives by supporting you as you move forward in pursuit of your goals, dreams, and desires. Your greatest you is ready to break through to your best you, and we're here to help. Each week, we explore topics to discover, uncover, and unpack ways for you to level up your leadership by leveraging your strengths, the best of who you are, managing weaknesses. We all have them, so just let that go. Managing them. We're not saying you got to try and fix them. We're going to manage them and build resilience. You see, resilience is power. Yeah, it really is. It helps you persevere and push through life's distractions, detours, disappointments, and derailers to your success. With our innovative and heart-centered approach, we help you achieve more success, less stress, and greater joy in life. How does success show up? There are three clear ways to measure your success. Number one, an increase in your performance. No one knows that better than you. And right now where we are, it begins with you. If you don't notice the increase in performance in you or your team, then you're not getting it. You're not getting it. There's still some more work to do. Your productivity and your prosperity potential. Okay, profits. The bottom line. Everybody wants a stronger bottom line. I don't care if you're a Fortune 50 company or a nonprofit or a government entity. All of these things matter. Just envision the freedom to breathe easier and fully exhale, even in the face of ever-increasing demands on your time, talents, and treasures. As your show host, executive leadership coach, and convener of leaders, Dr. Helen speaks power into you and your life and how you can optimize your leadership, your life, and your legacy. Now, this is our third episode in the series, Learn, Burn, and Earn Success. And we want you to do it on your terms. What does this mean? Glad you asked. Stay tuned because that's exactly where we're going in a minute. But here's a brief overview before we jump in. Learn. When we say learn, we're talking about lifelong learning. gaining new knowledge, new skills? How do you set your intentions to regularly learn something new, to acquire new knowledge? What's it feel like when you do it? Then there's burn. Now, burn, just like in the quote from today, that fire within, a deep passion or desire you have about how you can make a difference in this world, being you. You know, the power that only you are equipped to bring forth into the world, to fulfill that fire that burns deep within you. Do you know what that is for you, for your life? How would you explain it to someone else? And then there's earn. The gratification you receive from learning, from feeding that fire within is earn. That gratification, that sense of accomplishment, personal fulfillment, recognition. It's so much more than money, 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 money. Okay, that's about as much as I can sing carrying a tune, but I think you get the gist of what I'm saying. So today we're here taking a deeper dive into burn, your fire within. Do you have the opportunity to do what you do best every day? If you don't, stick around. And if you do, there's always something new to be learned. We're here to help you figure that out. More importantly, we want that for you, the opportunity to do what you do best every day. Here's what we've learned. At the heart of what you want lives within you a higher power to deepen your awareness and engagement with your best self. It's your willingness to confront your deepest truth about what you really want for your life. And when you do that, transformation begins immediately, personally and professionally. The key ingredient is your engagement. Engagement is one of the easiest, most effective ways to level up your leadership for more satisfaction, serenity, and success. It's your personal, unique path to be seen, heard, and impactful. Engagement sets you apart from anyone else. On some level, isn't that what you really want for your life? To have a genuine sense of belonging where the world gets to connect with the best of who you are? Our goal is to help you bring your best, your A game to the world. It's here that we support and guide you to connect and engage deeper with who you are at your very best. And what me and Coach Kathy D know is that there's no better path to get you there than coaching. Tracy McMillan said, everything works out in the end. If it hasn't worked out yet, then it's not the end. The truth is this: what you want for your life has the best chance of success when you stay focused and committed to making it happen. Dr. Helen Speaks is here live on the Win Win Women TV network every Tuesday from 10 a.m. at 10 a.m. Pacific time and 1 p.m. Eastern time. You can catch our show live or on Roku TV, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV. And soon and very soon, we'll be on LinkedIn Live, YouTube Live, and live in our private Facebook group, Strengths, Resilience, and Leadership. We know there's not a new thing under the sun. What is new is your knowledge, perspectives, and actions you take through a more informed lens shaped by the wisdom of lessons learned, lived experiences, and earned expertise from leaders just like you. We're here to ignite your spark, fuel your flame maybe, to think, be, and do more. TBD. Think about that every time you write down TBD because you're creating a placeholder or whatever. It's really about thinking, being, and doing more of who you really are to get more of what you really want for your life as a leader. So it's our privilege today, or mine at least, to bring to the stage, to the platform with me, Catherine Dixon Keir, founder of Transformative Learning Solutions. I must be correct, but the world really knows her as Coach Kathy D. So together we share, learn, and grow to motivate and inspire your success as a leader. Thank you for being a part of our community. Coach Kathy D has years of experience We met in grad school more than 25 years ago, and we're only 30. So anyway, and we've become more than classmates. We're truly family. I would not be here today as a professional executive leadership coach if not for my mentor, my friend, and our guest today, Coach Kathy D. So before she says anything, I want you to grab your note-taking device, pen and paper, tablet, computer, whatever you want to capture the notable nuggets of wisdom that Coach Kathy D is going to drop on you today. The insight and the aha moments that will empower you to think, be, and do more. Coach Kathy D, welcome to the show. I'm just so excited. I'm going to shut up and give you the
Me
floor.
too. It is a very exciting day. And I just want to thank you, Dr. Helen, for inviting me to be here today. And especially on this topic of resilience and zooming right in on that area of learn and burn, which I'm very personally passionate about in coaching others and working with others and leading programs and organizations for leaders. I just often go off track sometimes in my sessions because I go right down that path of passion. So we're going to be talking to everybody a lot about passion as we're here today, but I thank you for that opportunity today. I'm going to encourage you, I know in our short frame of time really today, to take a journey with Dr. Helen and I. In taking that journey, it's one that she already told you, get your pad, get your journal, get your pen, whatever that is, because me being that practitioner that I am, actually my business cards say, I am a creative learning practitioner and creative learning coach. So with that in mind, I want to make sure that I leave you on a serious note. My preparation was about leaving you with some tips and leaving you with some things that you can think about as you do all the things that Helen said when we started. Explore your resilience, exploring it and learning even further, because always it's still learning. Even though last week's topic was learning, we're learning about burn. And so as we take a look at burn and what that really means in light of the context of resilience and who you are, we're going to dive a little bit deeper with that. But I'm going to ask you the question right away today as we open up. The question is, what do you know about your burn? Where are you currently with your burn? Now, when I say burn, some people say, what on earth is she talking about? But burn is about, as Helen said, it's that inner passion that's within you. Maybe you've defined what your passion is. Maybe you're working on your passion. Maybe you're growing your passion. I've learned that passion is a lifelong journey because we find it, we love it, and we love it some more and learn it's something different. But it is really about right now saying at the beginning of our conversation, what is your burn? What is your passion? Now, in the context of resilience, though, as Helen's described, and the purpose of knowing how we move through resilience is a lot about understanding how burn works in us as we travel through resilience in our lives. And I had to go there because Helen's challenge to me was to bring some tips and bring some things to all of you. And it made me go through like years of journals. Yes, I'm a journaler, been a journaler for decades. And as I said, how am I going to do that, Helen? And I went through and I began to say, how do I bring it back to 4 major maybe tips or something that people could walk away, but not my tips as much as things that they want to explore for themselves. So as we go through it, Dr. Helen. So as we move through our information that is here, want to be sure and leave you with that opportunity. So the question for you right now, and even you can write this down, is what do you know about your burn? You understand what it is, understand some characteristics. What do you know about the way in which you and the terminology people would use is your bounce back? How does burn show up in the way that you bounce back through challenges, life's challenges, work through to be through the valleys, if we say often in the valleys of things, and then coming out of valleys and achieving the goal, and then maybe going back in the valley again and coming out? All of those things are about resilience and the way in which you achieve your resilience as you go through. But that's burn. So we say that burn. So what do you know about the characteristics, and I'll put it in everyday English, that you use to move through situations, challenges, and even goals and achieving those? And the awareness or the engagement in self-awareness in this area is very powerful. Because once you know some of your life patterns in it, and you begin to become very clear and confident, it has helped you achieve so many things and helped you move through so many trials. You then have a different level of self-appreciation, number one. Number two, of being able to work with others and achieve many things. So in summary, what I'm inviting you to do is take a look at that inner part of you that enjoys what it enjoys and that doesn't like what it doesn't like. Yeah, that's right. And the inner part of you that creates love, joy, hope, passion as you move through your life and do those particular things, moving through those obstacles. And as many of you might say to me, just keep it moving. And this is a big deal because many people that I coach, I find they're on autopilot. They're so busy, their calendars are so busy that they're going, like, well, yeah, I think I know that. Do I know this? I'm not sure. So we're just going to freeze it for a little bit and have a little fun with it here as you go through and answer some questions for yourself. What is it that helps you keep moving and that pushing through, but capture it? So with this in mind, and my experience of walking through it, I'm going to take you to tip number one. I was surprised, but tip number one that I offer you as we go through is that burn self-awareness sometimes requires a healthy visit to early life events that made you who you are today. Probably not something that's so much of a surprise, but I didn't think it was so loaded with where we get some message and some meanings for things. So think about that for yourself. Have you done that? Do you do that often? Is that a visit by early life? It can be even a visit to who ancestors are, who people are around, looking at them and then saying, my goodness, what's their resiliency? How did they do that? What are they doing? Let me give you an example for a minute. I'm going to share with you my story. It's just a brief one. But in summary, I was born in St. Louis, Missouri, and I was born in St. Louis, Missouri, pre-civil rights, segregation era. I was born to two wonderful parents, I have to say, Corinne Dixon and David Dixon. Corinne Dixon was a registered nurse, African-American woman at that time, as they would say, the Negro woman. And then, of course, the colored or Negro man, as they would say in that decade that I was born. And both of them managed to meet up, fall in love at St. Louis University and marry and had me. In that process, here's what I learned from that experience going back on it with this question of what did I learn about resilience from my mom and dad? So very young, they had me engaged in knowing what they do, observing what they do, be present with them wherever they were, experiencing their marginalized experiences often of not getting the respect that they had for the credentials that they had. Definitely didn't get that right away. No, you couldn't have graduated. No, we can't. No. But in the meantime, watching both of them, my mother was from New York and my father's family was from Mississippi. So two different sets of values in my home and ethic around how things get done and what you do. So through it, what I would say to you, though, is specifically, while being born during that period, I had a chance, particularly I'm going to zoom in on my father. My father is known and still in history is known in the Black Hall of Fame as Dave Dixon. He was a radio announcer. He eventually became the first Black program director prior to civil rights of a station called KATZ in St. Louis. So if anybody's from St. Louis here, this is part of the history of that. And he worked very hard to do that. But here's what I observed, giving you my share. So you can think for yourself, what do you observe when you think about your family? It might be teachers, it might not even be family. When you have those first experiences of moving through resilience and observing it or personally experiencing. So as being exposed to my father's struggle with resiliency, I got a chance to observe both, but I'm gonna zoom in on him. His goal was to be a radio announcer, to be an executive. And in that time period, we were like, oh, you're right. No, he said, no, an executive and run a whole media line. But in those days, I got a chance to watch him go from stop to stop and raise money from each of the advertisers by hand and collect the money and write the script. Then he sit in the car literally with me and write the script as we did all of that. As we move into it, he went further, and I got a chance in summary to say, I saw him do all aspects of media production side by side with him, creating, writing, editing, producing. And then the light would go on at the station. I would be sitting next to him. Yes, he was my babysitter while my mother was nursing. My mother was off doing her nursing job, I meant. So is that, I would say, he'd say, here comes the light. The light would go on and the program would go on. Being a part of that for years with him, he was in essence modeling for me the journey of what it took to get that far, to have that position, to actually have the light go off, to actually be able to do that. And also putting in me the hard work that I saw, the tenacity and determination to be able to do that, the communication required to do that, and to move through all kinds of barriers that were there in front of him. That happened to me at an early age. Bring this story to the end of that story for the purpose today, is that at that age of 7 and 8, he put me before a microphone. So he introduced me to all the intricacies of this. And I asked the question as I went back to this, well, where did I get my passion today for learning? And where did I get my passion for media work? I've had my own TV shows, my own radio shows, and I'm going, wonder where all that came from. Honestly, everybody, even in it would be obvious in all those years until I went and visited my history and began to visit the stories of legacy did I learn. So the summary on that is that some 6 years later, he died at a very young age. And through that, he died. I learned then that I had to mirror his resiliency to move through his death at 13 years old and move on and watch my mother use different resiliency steps. So the burn, I want to talk about burn in this last sentence here. Burn is that area that I learned has two sides to it. There's a hot burn, the one that pushes you through and can go to something that's painful, that either moves you on or has you stop for a minute. Just pause with it, live with it. And then there's the other side where the temperature gets a little cooler and you start to get into motion and it spurs you on. And then there's another aspect to it where it seems to almost die to a low flame. And there you are in joy because you've come out with your accomplishment or your goal, or you've moved toward whatever it is that you want to do. So it taught me a new meaning for burn. It was that burn is different temperatures that take you in and out of those valleys and challenges, temperature that increases or decreases, and the knowledge and awareness of your skill riding through that burn is really key. So that was tip number 1. So I'm going to turn it back over to you, Dr. Helen.
Oh my goodness, Coach Kathy D, that was phenomenal. I love the hot, the cool, and the low burn, because within us, when you have that inner fire that burns within, it's not always at full blast.
Yeah.
It's not like when you're trying to sear something on the stove. It's like, no, turn it up to a high temperature and then turn the fire down.
Yes.
So it's like life, it's those cycles. And I love the analogy because what I was hearing as you were talking, it's like resilience. It's not something we're born with. It's something we build throughout our lives. The beauty in building it is that when we need it, we know how to turn it on. And resilience really is that culmination of habits, practices, ways of being that get us through the storms or the tsunamis that enter our lives. So I love that. So I would say that burn is about identifying what that is for you, because if nothing's burning inside of you, you need to check what you're doing because you're not being fulfilled. You're not engaging with who you really are. That's the legacy you want to leave behind. You know, we all want that sense of belonging, that sense of being seen and heard. You know, think about a time in your life when you didn't know who you were or what you wanted. You kind of just went through the motions of life. Did you feel fulfilled? Did you feel fulfilled in doing that? Did it bring you joy? Or did you feel like, I get up, I get dressed, I go to work, the clock hits, I'm off work, and I go back home to rinse, repeat, and do it all over again? Are you chasing dollars or are you chasing dreams? Your fire is attached to those dreams that live within you. And one of the things we do is we help to bring that out of you. Oh my God. Coach Kathy, how many times have you experienced the transformation of leaders by them learning more about who they are and what they want?
Absolutely.
And that transformation, that awakening doesn't mean that they always stay where they are.
Right.
Maybe they touch something that says, no, this is what I really want from my life. And this is where life planning and all of that gets into play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But definitely, I mean, as you described it, it's so important because that awareness, back to being an effective leader in your life, everybody. I know we have a variety of people of backgrounds here in different stages of life, but every day we walk, we're a leader.
Mhm.
We're a leader, whether in position or whatever, in our homes, in our communities, in who we are every day.
Mhm.
And so through it, that awareness level about this area of resilience and where it fits. And if I may, Dr. Helen, I would like to just two more tips that I'm just going to leave with
Please.
people.
Yes.
There's another one that I've learned also from not only from me, but for others, is tip number 2 is surround yourself with positive forward thinkers. This is a key to maintaining hope and sustaining, literally maintaining hope and sustaining the encouragement for what it is that you really want to do for yourself.
Mm.
I don't know about you, but I have had it where, example, I was leaving a full-time job, getting ready to go out and open up my business. And different people I went to and I thought they would be excited for me. They said, "You nuts? Are you crazy? What's wrong with you? You girl, you gotta look at your social security, girl." I mean, it's like, okay. After about the 5th time of hearing it, my dream began to get a little, I said, no, I need to go out there. I need to build a new network. I need to look for those positive thinkers, those forward thinkers, as we would say. So don't let your dream die because you can build networks, and you can be able to do that as you're moving through. The third tip that I want to bring to you, that out of this research that Helen encouraged me, excuse me, Dr. Helen, I apologize to you. You can see how kindred I feel for you. But yes, Dr. Helen, as we talked about, is tip 3. Journal, virtual, whatever it is you need to do in your phone. I use also the recording in my phone and capture things on the go. Capture what you are doing when you are most satisfied doing it.
Mm.
Capture it. I don't mean just talk about it. Literally describe it. Who are the people? Who's there? What are the events? Oh, what's it like? What do you feel? Wow, what kind of satisfaction are you feeling right now? Is it for people? Is it for what you created? Capture all that, so that your passion gets robust. It gets a robust nature to it. And the fourth one, as we get ready to end out, I will leave with you, is it's okay to ask for help.
Woo.
It is
Say it. Wait,
okay.
say
And
it
I just
again.
have to tap there because
Say it again.
as
Wait,
I
wait.
can just speak as an
Just-
African-American woman myself, I'm speaking for me, is it took me years to literally realize I cannot do it all by myself. And even though I'm a spiritual person and all this other stuff that, I might have to step back and look around me and say, who are those people who have the talent? Who are those people who have the skills? And oh, by the way, ask them. And in that, they will give to be able to do that. We need diversity of knowledge. We need diversity of mentors. We need diversity of people in our lives. And so go seek that. It'll feed you. I can't even begin to tell you that growth point. And many of us who are taught in a certain culture that's we're not to share our business, we're not to do all those messages of growing up in certain social constructs or cultural constructs. It's not true. We really do need each other. And I've noticed the growth in me when I began to really realize that and open up and ask, get away the tears, have other people say, let me take my hand, I will guide you, I will show you. So I just want to say that to everyone as we're here. There's a wonderful book I recommend to everybody on this. I always leave people with something to read or something to do in your journal. It's called In Support of Myself, A Woman's Guide to Asking for and Accepting Help from Others by Cheryl Gray Hines. So I would recommend, again, In Support of Myself, A Woman's Guide to Asking for and Accepting Help from Others. And it's written from the perspective, it's her story of our journey of either being able to or not being able to ask for help. And I got a lot of awareness when I had to see myself in that book, the kinds of things we would do. Thank you so much, Dr. Helen. Yes.
Oh my goodness, Coach Kathy D, I'm telling you, the thing, I love it when you said, you got to capture what you love. And I'm reminded, in the words of Sam Horn, a phenomenal author, if you want to look at how you can use words differently, a book called Tongue Fu. Like Kung Fu, it's Tongue Fu. And in 4 simple words, she says, when you think it, ink it. Think it, ink it. OMG. Look, I got little things written all over the place. The other thing is, we have not because we ask not. You never know where that next person is coming from to help you do and get to live your best life ever. So when you think about what do you really want for your life, it's wrapped up in 3 things. Number 1, your desires. that burn your dreams, passions, pursuits, your imprint in life. Number two, your purpose. What are you here for? What mark do you want to leave in this world? And number three, ladies, you know where I'm going. It's your sauciness. Woo-hoo-hoo.
Yes,
That
yes, yes,
irrepressible spirit of sass that lives within you. That
yes.
part of you which makes you unstoppable. The things that matter most to you are the things that get your attention most. Check out what those are. Jot them down.
Mhm.
Reflect on them. Dr. Kathy, Coach Kathy D's giving you your call to action today. But I'm going to say, what will you do to be curious enough to step into what's burning inside me that I just need to get out? Write that down. What's burning in me that I need to get out to the world? Dr. Helen Speaks is here, dropping nuggets of wisdom every Tuesday, 10 a.m. Pacific time, 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. Join us, become a part of our family. We're living our best life ever, and we want that for you too, right now. What are you waiting for? Join the community of Dr. Helen Speaks, strengths, resilience, and leadership. We show up here for you. Yes, we do.